Season 3 has brought us to some different parts of the state. We hunted gators in Teal and Klondike, we shot limits in Tinsaw, and killed some bands in Bayou Black. In this episode, we head to the other side of the river from St. Francisville to Lacour, Louisiana, in Point Capee Parish. The camp we'll be staying at is like no other that we've ever filmed before. Old Hickory is a Creole-style plantation which dates back to the 1830s, with historical contributions to Louisiana's history, and has been in the Lacour Miller family since 1880. We'll meet up with Eric Hoffman, the president and owner of Louisiana Cooking Magazine, who married into the family which owns Old Hickory. We'll spend a lot of time chasing in the outdoors, and equally as much time cooking in the kitchen and around the fire.
My God, that's delicious.
If you didn't come hungry, you're about to be. Welcome to Duck Camp Dinners.
My gosh, that's delicious.
If it don't bleed, then it ain't alive. Another shiny thing for the crows to find. If it don't bleed, ain't worth listening to. I smell dead thing, funkier than you. If it don't bleed, then it ain't alive. Another shiny thing for the crows to find. If it don't bleed, ain't worth listening to. I smell dead things, funkier than you.
On the way to Lacour, Junior and I passed through St. Francisville, Louisiana, which is situated along the river just north of Baton Rouge. My cousins have deep roots in St. Francisville, so the plan is to stop in, say hello, and buy a gallon of shucked oysters from their seafood store in preparation for cooking at camp.
Hit the store. We'll see you in a minute.
We arrive at camp just as the sun sets to meet up with Eric and get to know some of his family.
You're a welcome sight to a weary traveler, my friend. How are you?
You better get your shit together.
Not a minute too soon, Eric suggests dinner at Old River Landing, a cozy little dive planted on the Rackersy River, an oxbow off the Big River.
All right, so we just got into camp, settled in. We're not gonna cook tonight. We're gonna head over to Old River Landing. I mean, look at this gym. I've never been here, but all the guys say this is the spot to be, so probably gonna get a burger. I don't know, and Junior says he's probably not gonna leave, so.
I say we're gonna be here for a long time. Until Chef makes me go home.
She's my girlfriend, actually.
People dancing to the side of cold beach. They don't see them under battle summertime heat. Till we don't roll, it's spicy combo. Don't relay at the fatal door. La Louisiana's where the country girls stay. People come around to hear the country band play. Listen to the man sing the side of cold song. They will dance and listen to it all night long. Each a jambalaya and a Mardi Gras land. People party down to the accordion band. Listen to a Rufus play the fiddle again. I don't think he knows the slipping under his chin.
We've been running hard the past several days filming this season, and I needed a warm welcome and a solid cheeseburger to take the edge off. Tomorrow morning, we get back after it and suit up for our first duck hunt in the area.
You ready, boys?
All right, so this is something we've never done on duck camp dinners, is hunt a blind that nobody else has hunted. I think it's kind of exciting. You never know what can happen. We got a little weather pushing through this morning, so that means a good wind. So that's good for us in the duck blind. But then we got hard rain coming around 8. So hopefully we get an early flight and get out of there before we get too wet.
There's good news and bad news. The bad news is that the Louisiana drought has once again caused coveted hunting grounds to turn dry.
Yep.
All right. Got it, man.
The good news is that Eric struck a last-minute deal on a lease that has had some success during the first split of this duck season. We're staying positive, but there is one more wild card. No one, not even Eric, has hunted this property, and the one blind that's in the field needs some love. Luckily, Junior and I like to cut brush, so we head out from camp early to get set up before shooting light.
We gonna brush the shit out of it.
With a well-brushed blind on a property that none of us have hunted, we've done all we can do to be successful. Now, the hardest part, staying optimistic while waiting on shooting light.
We got about 5 minutes of shooting light here. The wind seemed to die down, so we're hoping that kicks up a little bit more, at least to get the mosquitoes off of us. We've actually heard some reports from some folks on the road that they had some ducks in the area, so this is the first day of the second split. Who knows what happened in between the seasons, but hopefully today we get some good fresh ducks that we can take some shots at.
Oh, right there. 2.
That's some woodies. Woodrows.
We just got buzzed.
Right front corner coming at us, big ducks.
Those are big ducks.
Very big ducks.
Come on. Give us a chance.
Man, this year's such a weird year with the water.
Yeah, I mean, we've hunted a couple spots along the river, some north of here. And same story, I fear. I don't know, I haven't gotten reports from Venice, because if you think about Tinsaw Parish where we hunted, now we're in St. Francisville, and then Venice all the way down the mouth, I bet you they're doing well. So all those, it just tells me that those ducks are just bypassing all these oxbows.
That's what, it's just like, yeah, this area's not, there's not enough water. Like, I was thinking, heck, if there's not a lot of water, then,
Yeah.
you know, the little bit of water you have should be pretty productive. But yeah, I think it's like what you're saying. I think they're coming over here and they're saying, hey, there's nowhere to like roost, there's nowhere to do anything.
Yeah.
And so we're just gonna go straight down into, yeah, kind of the south.
Marshes and the south, yeah. Yeah. That's what it feels like, for sure. Eric told me the Morganza spillway's like nothing in it.
Dude, it's, you'll see it when we drive back by, but it's crazy. I've never seen the water. Well, it doesn't have any water. You can't even say it's low. It doesn't have any water.
It just doesn't have any water.
And usually, that's that's full. It's like, it might be like a 50 or 60 acre like kind of lake kind of situation.
The Morganza Spillway is a water control structure with adjacent reservoir used to relieve the Mississippi River as the water rises throughout the year. The dry spillway is further evidence that this year is not like the others.
For very few, this drought has produced really good hunting, but for most, it's been a strain on the season, to say the least.
Yeah, you couldn't even act like you were hunting hardly.
We put on a pretty good show this morning, though.
Yeah.
Brush blind, fully brushed blind. You know?
It looks good. It looks ducky.
I tell you, that poor soul of a duck that comes into these decoys, if it happens, is gonna get an ass whooping.
What started as an optimistic morning quickly turned into a bunch of standing around, with the reality check that if the ducks don't want to be there, then there is no amount of preparation and planning that can change that.
Good thing they killed stuff to cook before they got here.
That's right.
It's hard to hunt a 6 duck population.
Yeah, we got 6. 6 ducks in Point Capibra.
We chalk this up to time well spent in nature, getting to know some new folks. We pack up, get back to camp, and start game planning for this afternoon.
All right, so I got to get dinner prepped tonight because around 2:30 we're going to go out to the deer stand and see if we can shoot a deer. So when we come back, I want to have my Poretta Roast all ready to go to be cooked on the fire. A couple days ago, me and my good friend John White were in southern Arkansas, and I shot a nice fat wild sow. And today that's what we're gonna make the porchetta with. Simply, a porchetta is a pork belly that has a loin and tenderloin inside, and it's rubbed with a bunch of stuff. Today we're gonna use rosemary, garlic, olive oil, salt, and pepper, and rub all that interior, then wrap that pork belly around that loin, truss it, and then roast it over an open fire with some other vegetables that's gonna be cooked later on this evening for dinner. And it's all seasoned with salt and pepper, olive oil, a bunch of garlic, and chopped rosemary. Should be really delicious, especially on a cool night as this cool front rolls through this evening. Really, the key here is to get it seasoned, get it prepped, because the longer it sits with the garlic and the rosemary, kind of the better it gets. And so having a few hours trussed and seasoned before it hits the fire is gonna be a good thing. I really just wanna make sure this rosemary is chopped up nice and fine. As fine as I can get it. All right, so we have kind of the loin or the rib loin right here. Then we have the tenderloins right here. And that's gonna be kind of in the internal section of the porchetta because you kind of want that cooked more medium, if you will, and this more medium rare with that pork belly surrounding it all. And you can just season them all up together. They're all gonna get seasoned the same way. And then what we want to do is just kind of mix this up. Just want to make sure that all that rub and garlic is sticking to every little piece that we can. All right, let's grab that pork belly. You can see this nice kind of fat cap going around right here. What I want to do before I flip it over is try to just get a couple little score marks so we can get a good render when we cook. And plus that kind of makes it look nice too. From there, I'm going to take the rest of that rosemary, try to get a good, just nice even layer. All right, so everything's ready to go. It's time to roll this guy. Now, all we want to do is get this all rolled up like that. And that looks pretty darn good right there. The next thing we need to do is truss it, which means using some butcher's twine around this loin so it holds together while it roasts. All right, so we have our stainless steel wiring here that we're gonna hang by the fire, and you can see that porchetta is nice and tight, it's rolled, it's seasoned. I'm gonna salt it before it goes on the fire, but first we gotta get ready to go deer hunting, and this guy's ready to go as soon as we get back. And hopefully we got a deer on the ground, we can start cooking dinner right away.
While my porchetta rests in the refrigerator, Mr. Ovid is going to start on his side dish of garden cabbage and pork pieces.
Hit the pigtail first. I've cut up a bunch of pigtails. I'm trying to get the meat for the greens browned down good. And then I got a bunch of pickled pork meat to go in after the tails are browned up, because this will take less to brown than the tails will. And once that's really browned down and kind of juiced out, I'm gonna put water in this pot to let that water extract the smoke and flavor out of this meat. And then that water will be kind of the stock that the cabbage will go in to cook.
Junior and I are going to hit the deer stands while Mr. Ovid mans the fire and gets comfortable with his beverage of choice.
All right, so we finally made it out to the deer stand. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. Me and Lacour came out here, and we're hunting his brother's stand right now. Meanwhile, Jean-Paul and Eric are hunting another stand about a half a mile away. So hopefully between the four of us, one of us will be able to get something to bring home before we go home and back to the camp and do some cooking.
That's right.
These woods have actually been dry for the last 3 years with the river being low, and so we're starting to see a good deer population come back. We've been on this stand several times this season. We got a lot of good does coming in here. Got a couple of good bucks, so got good wind. The rain laid down, so I think we got good conditions. So we'll see what happens. Let's see what Jean-Paul and them are saying.
You got a camera on your block?
Yeah, I got a camera on their spot. Nothing but birds.
It's more than what we got right now.
That's all right. They'll get them a little bit later. Come and get it, boys.
So we're about an hour and a half into our hunt, and this is about when things usually get real good for deer hunting. So what we're gonna try and do is just hunker down, stay quiet, and hopefully something comes out we'll be able to take a shot at. Oh dear, don't right here to the left.
Yeah, it's a little yearling. She's close, real close.
She's very close. We just had a doe walk out into the field. She's just a little young and a little too small, so we're just gonna go ahead and watch her and hope something else follows in behind her. Yeah, something else to the left. There's something else to the left up here.
Oh, there's another one. There's another deer.
Left of the feeder, right?
To the left of the feeder, yeah. That's a good shot, I think. Well, wait till it turn back. Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna take her. Oh wait, the other one just went behind her.
When you get a clean shot,
I got one.
yep, take it.
Oh my god. What the just happened? Did the gun just misfire?
Use my gun. It's on safety. The safety's on the back. You just push it up.
Still the one on the left. You want me to take the one on the left?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright. Fold it right there.
Good job, dude.
Good deal. That was a good shot. You knocked it down despite the click. Made it
misfire?
do it. Yeah, the little misfire.
Yeah.
But that was fun, I'll tell you what.
It was exciting.
I don't think I've ever been so nervous watching somebody else shoot a deer.
I was definitely nervous too.
Eric and I are running out of daylight, but from the sounds of it, Junior put a small doe on the ground. Regardless of the size, we'll butcher the whole animal, ensuring we've got all the meat we need to feed this hungry crew.
I can't thank you enough for letting us come out here and showing us your property and letting us be a part of y'all experience and letting us at least getting to take a deer out of here.
Man, this is what it's all about.
Absolutely, man.
Now we got a little meat, so we're not leaving empty-handed, that's for
right.
sure.
We were past shooting light, and with the rain picking up, it's time to call it. We're gonna head back to the camp where Mr. Ovid has been cooking down his cabbage and cutting up with the crew around the fire.
Look at that. Good gosh. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
I think we're out of cold beers.
We're out again?
Yeah.
I got 2 cases of Michelob on ice.
Oh, do you? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I don't know what happens, I guess those things just seem to disappear, man.
All right, so back from the deer hunt, didn't go as planned. So, but Junior did end up shooting a deer. We'll cook that up tomorrow, but today it's all about this porchetta. It's been hanging out in the cooler. All I need to do is just season this I'm gonna go pretty liberal on it. Just get it all around the top, sides, and flip them over. Just rub that bottom side down. I'm not gonna add pepper on this or any rosemary or garlic. I don't want that to burn in the course of the roasting over the fire. So just salt from here, and that should penetrate pretty good into the underside of the meat as well. The fire's stoked. The cabbages have been cooking since we've been hunting. This is just gonna hang right over it, and it's just gonna slowly roast against that fire. And as it drips, it's gonna drip its juices and fat into the cabbage, just kind of amplifying those flavors as well. Should be a good dinner, but we gotta get it over the fire and start cooking. Ooh. Tell you what, this house wasn't made for no big boy.
Look at that. Y'all need to get some of that. Oh, y'all need to get some of that daggum pigtail meat. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Oh gosh. We got so much meat in there. We got pigtail meat, we got salt, pork.
That's meat within itself.
Dude, that's like a meal. My gosh.
All right, while Jean-Paul's porchetta is slow roasting over the fire, we got a few hours before that'll be ready. I'm gonna go ahead and whip up one of my family favorites, a little oyster artichoke soup, just as a little appetizer to get everybody snacking until that porchetta's ready.
This dude right here needs to be star of your show.
Dude, are you
Right
watching
here.
this? T-Jack, are you watching this?
Hey, Vidi,
You gotta watch the
You
meat.
can preach all you want, brother.
You got to watch the meat. If you don't watch the meat ain't gonna watch you. Are you watching the meat?
We're watching the meat.
I don't see your eyeballs on the meat.
I'm here.
But you looking at me, you ain't looking at the meat.
I'm here. I'm here.
But what about the meat?
I'm here, Vidi. I'm here.
But I ain't the meat.
You are my meat, baby. I
Oh.
love you. You are my porchetta.
Porchetta? Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah, I thought it would.
But are you watching the meat? You gotta watch the meat.
I thought it would.
You ain't watching the meat. I'm watching the meat. Look at that meat starting to drip, baby.
All right, so we've been sweating our onions down for about 30 minutes. Next step, what I like to do when I'm cooking for a lot of people with a cream-based soup, instead of using flour traditionally, you can use cream of mushroom soup as a thickening agent, which kind of helps speed up the process when you're trying to cook fast. So I'm gonna go ahead and add these in, let that cook down, and then after that, we'll start adding our cream in.
That meat is dripping. Do you like the meat dripping?
Ovid.
All right, now that our base has been smothering down, we're gonna go ahead and add our artichokes and our heavy whipping cream in half and half.
How often do you shave that hair?
Once every week and a half?
That's perfect.
You like that?
Yes.
We're gonna go ahead and let that simmer down for a little while, add some spices, and then we're gonna finish it off with the oysters. You wanna put them at the end so they don't overcook. All right, our soup's done, it's ready for serving. We're just gonna go ahead and finish with a little lemon juice and be ready to eat.
My cousin Kane decided to cook his famous bread pudding for dessert, which should be the perfect ending to a great meal.
All right, so I'm making a white chocolate bread pudding. I'm gonna use croissants instead of the traditional stale French bread. I like a buttery croissant. I like to take my croissant and cut it into small cubes. The reason why I like to cut it into small cubes is for it to get to caramelize when I pour the eggs and the cream and everything over the top of it. It makes a salty caramel crust that's just different from most bread puddings. It's not traditional mushiness. It's more of a kind of crunch into it, and it's salty at the same time. All right, we're gonna put it in the oven at 350 degrees for an hour and a half.
Well done, Junior. Delicious.
Yeah, Junior, good stuff, man.
My God, that's delicious.
Hitting the spot is what it is.
My gosh. My gosh. My gosh, that's delicious.
You get a few oysters in there?
Yes.
Good.
Did you?
Man, yeah, I had a half dozen.
My God.
I like the artichoke in there, too, you know?
My God, that's good. Unbelievable.
All right, so the porchetta is done. It's been slow roasted. We're gonna cut just right into it, nice and thin slices. I'm gonna serve it right off this cutting board, so no use for a platter here.
Certain meals come out better than you can ever imagine. Fire roasted wild hog porchetta with a side of meaty smothered cabbages sure make you forget about all the things that didn't go your way. With full bellies and even fuller drink cups, we settle back around the fire and strike up a game plan for tomorrow morning.
Kane, get Todd some bread pudding.
It's our second morning duck hunting, and once again we find ourselves in a field that none of us have ever hunted. Dried up ag fields and sloughs have forced us to call in favors and scramble to chase ducks.
How you doing, man? Blake Floyd.
We end up getting permission from some of Ovid's family friends to hunt a field that's been holding a few birds.
There's birds over there on around that little peninsula.
Both of those spots are easy and good.
Reports are that the ducks which are using the property are choosing to settle in the middle of the ponds, far from the blinds which are dug into the levee on the outskirts of the water.
All right, so about 50, 60 yards in is a hole that we're hunting. Standing only, pack light, because there ain't no place to put bags or shit like that.
I ain't got no place to put my Viennas.
Skeptical of going in blind, we make the decision anyway and grab a dozen decoys, a handful of shells, and find somewhere, anywhere, to set up.
Should be like a little pothole, Ben.
Yeah.
Just keep going. And probably a little to our left.
I think we throw decoys where you are and we all just kind of get up in these reeds.
I agree. Up against a reed, that's gonna be our best cover. And we're gonna throw decoys out. Let's let that sun rise and first light come. See what happens. If we need to move, we move. Cool? All right, grab that. I'm gonna go throw these decoys with Hayes. All right, so we're out here in another flooded rice field. We are in this little pothole in the middle of the field that reports are this is where ducks were going down yesterday. So we had to hoof it in. We hunting no blind. We had to be minimal. So I got my boss shells right here in my bib and just my gun in my hand. and my lanyard, and I think hopefully that's all we need to kill a few ducks on this early morning flight.
Right here.
Not one.
Might have just shot a duck. Hayes is on the retrieve.
Hayes, what is it?
Great, Woody.
Nice.
There we go.
Right here, big duck on my right. Man, he got up from that corner.
We're light on cover, and as the sun comes up, it's obvious that we are badly sticking out.
I mean, it probably doesn't help that we're like standing right here, you know?
Standing right out in the open.
Like, look at my cover. Slow, man.
If a duck would come by, they would surely spot us and flare before we ever got a shot.
They got a lot of spots to just hunker down. And it's not right here.
Yeah, definitely.
They don't want to be quite as lovey-dovey as Todd.
Ovid and Todd,
Yeah.
just hanging out.
That's good. Yes. I love that.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
Here, there you go, Vinny.
Oh,
Get you
God,
some.
yeah.
Get
That's
you some.
so fine.
Yeah.
They were feeling good last night.
Man, who cooked this?
Do you?
Are you kidding me?
You've got to be kidding me.
Got to be kidding.
My God, that's delicious.
It got to the point where I thought he was being sarcastic at
I
one
know,
point.
dude. I was like, I can't tell what's going on right now.
That's unbelievable. Look, that's unbelievable.
You know? When I hung that porchetta over the cabbage, he literally went, "Oh my God!" He moved his hat up like that. It was awesome. It's gonna be a long gravy.
One Woody.
Long gravy.
Once again, the morning did not go the way we had hoped. Luckily, we know Michael hung back at the camp and has something special he plans on whipping up for breakfast.
We're starting out with this roux. We're gonna make a little brown gravy, and one of my dad's good friends' mom used to cook this way back in the day. It's a brown gravy, and you crack eggs in it, and we've always called it an egg gravy. It's pretty simple. This is the longest part of the whole operation, is cooking roux.
Man, egg gravy is one of those dishes that I never heard of before coming to this camp. This is exactly why I love coming to different hunting camps around Louisiana. It is a perfect dish for this cold Sunday morning. It's a pretty great idea considering like how many times we make gravy, but I've never seen eggs put in it like that. All right, so I'm gonna smoke and braise this hind quarter, this little doe that was shot the other day. Really simple though. You can see they did a nice job cleaning it up. I'm gonna leave all this silver skin on it because actually when we're braising something, all that silver skin equates to collagen and just richness, and that's gonna be good for our gravy once we finish this guy up. Really simply, I'm gonna take a little yellow mustard, kind of give it a smear on all sides, just cover that guy up. Kind of adds a little tang to the sauce and also acts as an adhesive for the rub. You can use any type of barbecue rub you like for this. I like to use ones that have less sugar in it. You know, sugar wants to burn, so we want to just kind of keep the sugar low as far as a rub goes. I went ahead and collected some kind of pecan branches there that we're going to use to smoke this shoulder with before it goes into the braise. And you know, I'm just trying to get more flavor onto that shoulder before it goes into, like, you know, a pot with stock and onions and mushrooms and vinegar and so on. So nice little handful of pecan chunks there. Looks good. Deer roast, just right in the center. And what are we going to do? We're just going to smoke that for about an hour, 2 hours before we put that in the pot and finish the cooking, be ready later tonight. While the roast smokes, Junior and I are going to head out with Kane to a nearby field. We're setting up a mock field trial to get an idea of how Kane trains championship labs.
My name is Kane Pace. We're here in Bachelor, Louisiana, and we're about to run a field trial today. We have a simple double setup here. Basically, we have a bird coming right to left outside of the holding blind here, falling at about 75 yards. You turn here, hard left, back over here to where the silhouette decoys are, and this truck is coming. We're shooting a flyer from behind this bush right here. We're actually gonna shoot a live flyer because here, if we're gonna raise duck dogs, we need to fetch ducks. We don't need to fetch plastics, so therefore we shoot live birds in our training segments. The flyer's gonna come out left to right. The dog's gonna pick up the bird right here in the silhouette of the decoys, turn around, come back, and pick up the right-hand bird. Once the dog picks up the right-hand bird, we will run a blind retrieve out here to this black stake and orange ribbon. This is a bird that a dog hasn't seen fall. This is where our force fetch and our hand signals and the maturity of a finished dog comes in. We can make the dog sit on a whistle and therefore change its directions by a hand motion and put it back into the pile or over if we need to. The dog understands 90s, 45s, and directly 180 degrees at which way to turn behind him. All right, once the dog picks up the blind retrieve, we're finished. He's gonna come back to my side and retrieve the bird to hand each time. Don't miss, man.
Don't miss.
This will be embarrassing TV if we do.
All right, here we go. Sit. That didn't work out.
He didn't go too far.
Paul. Paul. Nice shot. Here. Sit. Give. So now we comes into our hand signals, our force fetch, the dog understanding the communications with the e-collar and everything else. Here. So I'm gonna put my firearm up and I'm gonna aim my dog like a shotgun. I'm gonna aim him in the direction of where the bird went. That bird, good. Back. He's not headed exactly where I want. The dog stops and I can change his direction. Sit. No. Back. The dog's direction was pointed out in the direction of where we wanted. When we gave an over, he went over here to try to go back to the old fall. And then we stopped the dog and changed his direction with the back left to put him back in position to where we want him. Good.
That was fun, but it's been a couple hours and I need to check on that deer roast back at Old Hickory.
So tonight I'm actually cooking a white beans as a side dish to Chef's deer entree. I've got Great Northern Whites soaking, Camellia brand, which I love. And you're gonna see me pull it together. Just starting out, I'm gonna brown some ham hocks and get all my meat brown. I'm gonna pull it out, reserve it, hit the Trinity, and kind of get it ready to get those beans in, and then we're just gonna let it roll. And when it gets creamy and the ham hocks come off the bone, it's ready. So that's ready to go.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. We all got a little coon ass in us. Eric was born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama, but after marrying a Cajun gal and moving to New Orleans, he's embraced the food and lifestyle of South Louisiana. We all have our contributions to camp, and one of Eric's is his white bean recipe.
While Eric makes the white beans, I'm gonna get this venison hindquarter cooking. Remember, it's been smoking for a couple hours. I got some hot oil here, a little bit of Trinity, cut Trinity there, and push it into the fire. I'll sweat that down over the fire for a little bit. And once that Trinity has softened up, I'm gonna add some red wine to the pot. Red wine and game meats, especially venison, just go great together, so why not cooking over the fire?
So I went ahead and finished browning the meat and wilted down my Trinity, put the ham hocks back in, and then I just went ahead and added my white beans just now, put some chicken stock and some bay leaves. We're just gonna let it simmer for a while and let the magic happen.
You can see that red wine has been reducing. It's got a nice little boil to it. I'm gonna throw in a little pack of sliced mushrooms, and I got a little egg gravy left over from breakfast. I like a good bit of red wine vinegar in this sauce. Just kind of cuts through the richness of the gravy and really does a nice job pairing with wild game. You hit it with a little salt and pepper, bring it up to a simmer, and then we'll put in our venison leg to cook right over those coals. All right, let's take a look. Got shoulder right here. It's gotten all kind of good color, nice and mahogany. It's got a head start on the white beans, but it needs it because this guy needs to fall apart in this sauce, in this gravy. I'm gonna head over here. See that gravy boiling away? Oh, almost fits. Oh, almost fits. What to do? There it is. That's how that's done, Paul.
Emerging out of a pecan grove flanked by gardens and cane fields sits a little piece of Louisiana history. And despite our troubles in the duck blind, there's no denying how special Old Hickory and its surrounding properties are. This home has a history nearly 200 years old. And although that history is important, I'd argue that it's the family and friends here now which makes this property such a unique place. Duck seasons come and go, but it seems that the Lacour and Miller family are here to stay. We came as outsiders, but after a few hunts, great meals, and a whole lot of laughs, we leave as family. We'll enjoy this last meal with a few more cocktails before getting some rest and heading on to our next camp. See y'all down the road.
If it don't bleed, then it ain't alive. Another shiny thing for the crows to find. If it don't bleed, ain't worth listening to. I smell dead things, won't be you than you.
Every
zipping.